We're at a very rapid pace. We have to make up for a lot of lost time. And the country was very poorly run for 4 years.
In a recent discussion with Tucker Carlson, billionaire investor Ray Dalio highlighted the impending debt crisis that poses a significant threat to the global economy. He emphasized the urgent need for immediate action to prevent a catastrophic financial collapse, urging policymakers to respond decisively and swiftly. This video will explore the details of his warnings and insights on this critical issue. The global debt crisis. The global debt crisis represents a significant and pressing issue that cannot be overlooked. Currently, an alarming amount of capital is allocated solely to interest payments, approximately $1 trillion annually, highlighting the gravity of the situation we are confronting. Furthermore, in the forthcoming year, we anticipate the necessity to refinance over $9 trillion, presenting an immense supply-demand challenge.
Though we have a real issue for the United States debt in the world, because we're selling all this debt. We have borrowed a lot of money, okay? And now we're having a problem selling that money around the world.
Right.
And it's also happening that this political situation, geopolitical situation, is weakening the demand for U.S. bonds.
When this balance becomes disproportionate, we may face considerable adverse repercussions. It is imperative that we address this matter promptly to avoid far-reaching consequences throughout the economy. What happens if we sit back and do nothing? The consequences could be dire. If the demand for debt doesn't match the supply, interest rates will inevitably rise. This isn't just a theoretical scenario, it's a very real possibility. As interest rates climb, the economy will start to feel the pinch. Higher rates mean more expensive borrowing, which can choke off growth. If the cost of borrowing goes up, businesses will hesitate to invest. Consumers will pull back on spending. This creates a dangerous cycle. The economy slows, and suddenly we're in a downward spiral. Are we really prepared for that kind of fallout? Dalio's framework for understanding economic trends. Ray Dalio has a unique way of viewing the world. He breaks it down into 5 major forces that shape economic cycles. First up is the money and debt market. It's like the circulatory system of the economy. When credit flows freely, everything thrives. But when debt accumulates, it creates blockages that can lead to serious problems.
One has to understand the mechanics of that. Here's the thing to keep in mind. 3%, keep this in mind, 3%. We will have a deficit, a projected deficit, if no changes are made, that are going to be about 7.5% of GDP if there's no if there's a continuation of the tax cuts. That number's got to go down to 3% to keep it the same.
Next, we have the internal order and disorder force. This is where things get tricky. The widening gap between different political ideologies can lead to conflict. We're already seeing glimpses of this in today's society. Is this the new normal? Dalio also highlights the significant power conflict exemplified by the relationship between the United States and China. As one nation seeks to preserve its dominance while another ascends, tensions inevitably escalate. Dalio's framework doesn't stop there. Nature itself plays a role. Climate change, pandemics, and natural disasters have historically caused significant disruptions. The fifth force at play is human inventiveness, which significantly impacts the economy. Technology, for example, can enhance efficiency and spur growth in industries like manufacturing. Automated machines can produce goods faster and at a lower cost, benefiting companies and consumers alike. However, this same technology can also create challenges, such as job displacement. When factories adopt automation, many workers may find themselves replaced, leading to economic inequality. For instance, while a company may see higher profits due to automation, workers who lose their jobs may struggle to find new employment or need to retrain for different roles. Are we ready to face the consequences of our own innovations? If you have enjoyed this video so far, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel for additional great content. The scale of global debt. The scale of global debt is unprecedented. It's not just a number, it's a reflection of how we've structured our economies. When you think about it, one person's debt is another person's asset. But what happens when those assets don't provide adequate returns? As interest rates rise, it becomes clear that the holders of debt may start to panic. They could want to sell, creating a glut in the market. This imbalance could lead to significant economic turmoil. Are we really prepared to handle that kind of fallout? The dynamics of supply and demand in the debt market are complex. If buyers don't show up to meet the supply, interest rates will climb.
You know the problem, of course, when we had COVID. What happened is there was a big deficit. They wanted to send out checks, and the central bank printed money and bought the debt, and we experienced a big inflation. That kind of mechanics is in the works. So again, I want to draw your attention to the mechanics of this.
This is where it gets dangerous. Rising rates can lead to a downturn in the economy, affecting everything from housing prices to business investments. This situation is very important and requires immediate action from the central bank. They have to find a way to boost the economy while also keeping inflation in check. But can they really find that perfect balance? The stakes are high. The choices made today will have a lasting impact on our economy for many years. Time is not on our side. We need to act quickly to address the deficit. Right now, the U.S. is facing a deficit of about 7.5% of its GDP, and our goal should be to reduce it to 3%. Getting this right is crucial for our financial future. If the central bank can manage to stimulate growth without causing prices to rise too quickly, we could create a healthier economy. Strategies for achieving fiscal responsibility. Achieving fiscal responsibility requires more than simply reducing budgets. It involves making informed and strategic decisions. It is essential to assess which expenditures can be cut without causing significant disruption to the public. The government faces tough choices that can have far-reaching implications. However, when budget cuts impact the services that people depend on, we must consider the potential consequences. Reducing access to essential services can lead to dissatisfaction and unrest among citizens, raising the question of whether we are prepared to accept such risks. The real challenge lies in striking a balance between reducing the national deficit and maintaining stability within society. The focus should be on making cuts that are strategic and sustainable, ensuring that essential services remain intact. It is a delicate task that requires collaboration, transparency, and a commitment to long-term solutions that prioritize both financial health and the well-being of the community. Ultimately, it is crucial to find a path that not only addresses fiscal issues, but also supports the needs of the people. The impact of political decisions on stability. Political decisions have a direct impact on economic stability. When leaders make cuts, they're not just trimming the fat, they're rewriting the social contract. People expect certain things from their government. If those expectations aren't met, we could see significant backlash. The risks of debt versus political backlash. We face a choice. Tackle the debt or risk the political ramifications of doing nothing. The question is, which is more tolerable? A debt crisis can lead to economic collapse, but cuts can ignite public outrage. It's a double-edged sword. How do we ensure that the public understands the need for these measures? We need clear messaging about why these decisions are being made. Otherwise, we might find ourselves in a situation where the people feel betrayed. That's a dangerous place to be. The role of taxes, spending cuts, and interest rates. When we talk about being responsible with money as a country, we have to think about taxes. It's not just about increasing tax rates, it's also about growing the economy so that tax income rises naturally as people earn more. While cutting spending is important, we need to be careful about what we cut to avoid causing problems. Interest rates matter too. Lowering them can help the economy grow, but if we don't manage our spending properly, we might just be pushing our problems into the future instead of fixing them. This isn't just a U.S. issue, it's a global crisis. Countries around the world are grappling with their own debt struggles. The interconnectedness of the global economy means that one nation's problems can quickly become everyone's problems. Are we prepared for a ripple effect? As we navigate this debt landscape, we must remember that we're not alone. Countries like China and those in Europe face similar challenges. How do we work together to find solutions? Collaboration may be our best path forward. If you are concerned about your financial security and are thinking about investing, check out the first link in the description. It's the platform I use, Interactive Brokers. Click the link to learn more. We hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on future uploads.